What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Black woman explains how African Americans and Africans look alike, and how people who don't seem to think so are weird. And you got to be weird to not see the phenotypical similarities between African Americans and West Africans. Here's the thing, and there's a lot of African Americans who truly believe that we are mixed so much that we're our own thing because we're an amalgamation of these three different groups: Native Americans, Africans, and Europeans. Listen, African Americans are not that mixed. We're not as mixed as you think, okay? We have a little bit of white in us, all right? We're talking about that 12 to 23% because of rape, okay? Then we have less than 1% of us have Native American ancestry in us. Less than 1%. Most of us are pretty much just black. If you are mixed, you're mixed between different African tribes. If you're mixed, you're mixed between different West African and Central tribes. If you're mixed between different African nations of... If you're mixed between different Africans of nations of people. That's your mix. Most African Americans are just West Africans over here. That's it. We're just Africans over here. If you go to Nigeria, any African American go to Nigeria, guess what? You'll disappear. Any African American go to Ghana, you'll disappear. All I gotta do is put you in their clothes. You'll disappear. In fact, put your regular, everyday, I'm going to work clothes on. Let me put you in any downtown, in any capital of any Western Central African country. Matter of fact, I'll take you to Kenya. We go to East Africa. Let me drop you there. You'll disappear. As long as you don't talk, you'll disappear. We look so much alike. The xenophobic hate group FBA has to ask you if you are from somewhere else in order to be xenophobic to you. They can't quite identify you. As a matter of fact, we look so much the same that it's scaring uneducated, unknowledgeable, untraveled African Americans, because they don't know who in their community is African or not, or Caribbean or not. You just don't know. That's how much we look the same. We are literally just those people. Right? Everything about us, our strength, our power, our resolve, our ability to cope, everything we've ever invented, everything that we ever done to fight against white supremacy in this foreign land is because we are Western Central African. The power we possess is West African power. All right? The power that we possess is Central African power. This grit, this attitude, this is West African grit and attitude. We're just manifesting it over here because, like history has told, we are amalgamation. We are a mix of different ethnic African groups who were going through it with each other, and the white man took advantage of that, like they did every place else in everybody else's land. The same program, the same mode of operation: divide and conquer by manipulating the political situation on the ground in any country they go to. Smiling and utilizing trickery and deceit in order to conquer and colonize and enslave the original inhabitants of their land, whether it be to steal the land itself or to steal the people or to steal the resources. This is what white people do, all right? And we got to the point that we got some African Americans who will sit there in your face looking about as black and pure 100%, freaking 100% cocoa chocolate as probably can be, talking about I ain't African. You look like you just came right out of any West African movie. You talking about you ain't West African. You go to a goddamn West African church, you blend right in, you talking about you ain't African. You damn near eating the same goddamn foods that we ate in Africa. All your soul food ain't nothing but modified African food. All of it. But you ain't African. It's ridiculous. You got to be trying to be stupid not to see it. Right? We got people think I'm African. They think I'm continental African. Look, I'm about as far removed as you can get. All right. Now I got a lot of DNA in Southern Africa, so I got Sankoy in me too as well. So I get some of my features from the Sankoy. That's why you think I'm Asian, right? A lot of y'all think I'm Asian because of my Sankoy. No, black people don't look like Asians. There's not a black person on this planet that looks Asian. There's only Asian people that look black. That's it. We had it first. This shit, we had it first. We gave it to them. We gave this to them. Understand who had this before they did. We did. This is ours. This ain't Chinese eyes, these African eyes that them Asian people got. All right? You need to get that. So, yeah, we African. So you see me. Everybody thinks I'm Filipino. They think I'm Cambodian. They think I'm Samoan. They think I'm everything, right? But in fact, I'm just black. I got some European in me. Huh? I got some Neanderthal in me. I got a little bit of Scandinavian in me. I'm by way of Scandinavia. I'm a little Viking. I got a little bit of that Viking blood, a little bit of that type of stuff up in there. But I don't regard that shit, you know. I totally disregard that shit. Right? I'm black. I'm African. My shit's African. All right, so again, listen. African Americans look black. African Americans look African because we are. That's why a bird looks like a bird, because it's a bird. You know why a turtle looks like a turtle? Because it's a turtle. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Let them figure that shit out on their own. Anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment sections. Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach something. I'm out.
I saw this video recently where, and I didn't even see it on TikTok because I'm not on here that much, but I saw it go viral from TikTok and go to Twitter. And there was a girl talking about how much African Americans look like West Africans. And then there was another girl that stitched her post and was like, we don't look anything like West Africans. Black Americans, we are mixed. We don't look anything like West Africans. We have our own look. And I think it's getting weird. Black American, African American, all of the terms. In my entire life as a Black Southerner, I have been reminded of how much I look like my African ancestors. And that's not a negative thing. It's just something that has been consistent in my life. And no, not all of us are mixed to the capacity that we no longer look like our West and Central African ancestors. Many of us look exactly like our cousins on the continent and throughout the Caribbean. I think also the assertion that we are so mixed that we don't look like the rest of the diaspora is teetering on the lines of colorism and with like a dash of eugenics. Because with this assertion that we don't look like our cousins anymore, it makes it seem as if none of us are dark-skinned or have 4C hair, or that is something abnormal among us, and it's not. But also it ignores the fact that some of the same things that occurred on plantations, some of the same horrors that occurred on plantations with our ancestors that resulted in us having this admixture, some of those same things happened on the western and central coast of the continent of Africa. So no, we're not the only mixed people or the only people that have a mixed admixture with European ancestry. I think it's okay for us to have different opinions on some of these conversations, but I really caution us to be careful so that we are not reinforcing anti-Black stereotypes among ourselves in order to distance ourselves from the rest of the diaspora. And one more thing, I think also in the discussions of breaking down so-called flat Blackness, we should do the same thing with breaking down so-called flat Black Americanness. We're not all having the same experiences, even though we are closely related and had this experience through chattel slavery in America. What you view as a distance to the continent, I have a level of closeness, and many of my relatives do in South Carolina, to the continent. So we're not all having the same experiences. You may feel 400 years removed from Africa, which is also ahistorical, but that's not my reality. And also, I'm never beating the allegations. Like, I constantly in digital spaces and have met with this allegation of being secretly Nigerian, pretending to be African American, when I'm actually fully African American that's married to a Nigerian. But because of how I look, it's easy to believe those allegations, and there's a reason for that. So again, I think we should be really cautious with this who looks like who and we're different because we're mixed. I think we're really going on a slippery slope with the colorism and texturism and featureism. All Black Americans are not light-skinned. All of us do not look closer to Europeans than West Africans and folks from the Caribbean. That is just not true. So my advice is to speak towards your personal experience, but not put that on 40 million people that are having various experiences, especially for those of us that are dark-skinned from the Deep South.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.